Welcome back into Sunrise. I have Miss Nicola with Kealy Education, and we are talking about the importance and needs of substitute teaching. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much, Keely, for having me.
Starting back here in Mississippi, actually some schools are starting like tomorrow. So talk to me about the demand for substitute teachers.
Yeah, thanks, Keely, for the opportunity. The demand for substitute teachers is at an all-time high in the state of Mississippi. It's no different from whatever we see everywhere else in the 40 states that we service today in the U.S. And so we do expect that this school year we'll probably see some of the highest demand numbers that we've experienced in at least in our 27 years of service.
Now, talk to me just about the role as a substitute teacher. I mean, I was in school before and I remember having them, but they play a much bigger role than I feel like parents or students even realize.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the demand for substitute teacher services throughout the US and, of course, in Mississippi is really due to the teacher vacancy crisis that we've seen in the last couple of years. And in fact, a lot of our teacher vacancies that we've seen were well underway even prior to the pandemic. And so the role that they play is essentially, it is what that is an essential worker. It's an opportunity to keep continuity of instruction in the classroom. And of course, some of the absences that we do see with our full-time teaching workforce, it could be a last-minute illness, a maternity leave, or just, openings that have been really difficult to fill for human resources departments. But again, they're an extension of the workforce of the faculty every single day. So an important part of that educational community.
Now, Miss Nicola, talk to me just about the training of a substitute teacher. Obviously, you aren't having to get a 4-year degree, but you still have to be prepared for the classroom.
Yes, absolutely. So Kealy Education, we provide a lot of training and professional development. So prior to coming into our employment, we have a pre-hire training. And then once they are onboarded and all of the credentials and they're qualified to become a substitute teacher, we then have a post-hire orientation training. So all in a minimum of 4 hours. And that particular orientation is really getting prepared for classroom management, best practices, lesson planning, what to expect in the classroom. And then, of course, within their tenure, we offer a tremendous amount of continued education. So our substitute teacher employees, they have the opportunity of being able to access thousands of online course modules, or there might be, training that we do throughout the year if it's required by a state or district. But needless to say, we do supply that. And then, of course, our partner public school districts, too, when they offer professional development, they always invite what often we find our substitute teachers to be a part of the faculty of any type of PD opportunity.
Now, if someone were to think about going into substitute teaching, as you were saying, you guys work with the school districts, is each school district different with the curriculum that they have?
They can be, absolutely. But of course, the Department of Education will set, the criteria in terms of when courses are taught. Typically, you'll see some school districts, they obviously adhere to what the State Department of Ed curriculum does, but maybe textbooks are different. So yes, but normally if you're going to teach US history, it tends to be the same, from one district to the next. So but for the most part, yes, they have to be prepared, and obviously full-time teachers, when they're away, they need to leave adequate lesson plans so that that particular substitute teacher can pick up the reins and go ahead and teach for that day.
Now, as someone who's part of Kealy Education, talk to me about just the characteristics of someone who may be considering being a substitute teacher. Obviously, I don't think teaching is for everyone. So what would be some characteristics that you would say for anyone interested?
Yeah, so obviously, we have a lot of folks that come into our employment that are very purpose driven, very curious about education, considering a career in education. So it's a great way to be, to try that out in terms of the vehicle of being the substitute teacher, just to get it's sort of a feel of what that could be like, whether it's in an elementary classroom, a special ed kind of a classroom. Obviously we want folks to be great communicators, even though we also give wonderful preparation, I think, for the classroom with classroom management, best practices, that people are going to be engaged with that professional development and training to be able to apply what they have learned in the classroom. We want folks to be, committed to their work assignments. So to show up on time, to be able to, take a lesson plan, leave a classroom in an organized fashion, the way that they found it when they enter in. So, it's a great opportunity. And we believe that, this particular opportunity leads with noble purpose, especially working with our children every single day. So if anyone is interested, please go to wakeupandteach.com. So wakeupandteach.com, and you'll be able to access the state of Mississippi and to see, we partner with 47 districts. So there are just tremendous amounts of opportunities for work assignments and for roles, but to get that information on what to do to become a substitute teacher.
And I guess last question, kind of piggybacking on you working with 47 districts. I feel like that would give someone who is interested in substitute teaching the opportunity to figure out maybe what district works best for them. Could you maybe talk about that a little bit?
So, mostly what we find, many of our substitute teachers, they want to work within the district. Maybe they have children that go to the district, but
Yeah.
where they live, right? So typically they're very familiar with the district and school buildings, and they can often make requests of where they would like to work, all of that being available.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be right back after the break.